go down. Like, pretty much you're going to get significant raises every year. So you have to think, even if he started...
Even like Shelby Miller got an increase, I think.
And that was the one I think that the team was like, we're not settling with you. Like, we're going to... Because there's no way you're winning this arbitration hearing. Because he was terrible that year. But, all right, let's even say Severino starts out at a base of $3 or $4 million this year. Like, you'd have to think, if he stays healthy and he keeps, pitching it, the way we've seen him, that... By the end of this, Donato, year 4, I mean, he's up close to making $20 million, right? To me, it just he's up there. I mean, we saw Arenado got like some crazy deal, which Arenado's been very good for
$26 million.
He's been very good for a couple of years, but you'd have to think Severino would be sniffing that area. I mean, not $26 million, but somewhere around $20 million, $15 to $20 million.
Well, I think, too, just think of, like, inflation in 4 years from now, I mean, every year, like, it seems like a record's breaking because every year, of course, we're getting richer and richer. So 4 years from now, I think you are correct. I mean, on the path that Severino is pitching, I mean, he's been close to like a 6-WAR pitcher these past 2 years. Mm-hmm. And he is only 24 years old. Well, I guess he'll be turning 25, but still, like, he's done that already at this age in Yankee Stadium,
right.
In the New York market. Yep. So you can absolutely think that this guy's, I mean, he is a stud, is going to be a stud, and would be potentially nearing that $20 million mark and then hitting free agency.
And that's what kills me because, there's been obviously a lot of talk these last couple off seasons about, the union and the CBA and the fact that free agency, these teams aren't spending and these pitchers, nobody's getting these big deals yet anyway. But one thing that's a guaranteed, Donardo, so, your pre-arb, you're not making much. Obviously, you're making the minimum. When you hit free agency, it's a big unknown because teams don't want to sign you to 6, 7, 8, 10-year deals. The one guarantee, to me, is the arbitration. Like, when you go into arbitration, like, depending on, you're going to get paid by your performance. Now, it might be stupid stats like wins and losses and ERA and whatever because that's what the courts still look at, but...
Which Severino did have 19 wins, if you want to count that too.
But
he has everything going for him.
That's the one guarantee that you're getting paid off of your performance, and essentially. And it's not, you can settle with the team before arbitration and avoid arbitration, but if the team's trying to lowball you, you can take them to arbitration, and then a judge is going to basically rule and say, you were worth this amount. So I'm definitely surprised that both of them really signed it. Severino, obviously, a little more, considering he would have had 4 years of arbitration. And I get it, the year of free agency, when they buy it out, you don't really know at that point in free agency. They'll both be around 30. But you see this deal, Bernardo, and you think, Jameson Taillon. I mean, so he's pre-arb this year, going to be making pretty much league minimum. And then next year he hits arbitration. 4 years, $40 million. Definitely sign me up that for Taillon, right? And that's like, it just seems so team friendly. It's like, why wouldn't you do that at this point?
Yeah, for sure. And actually, you know what? So I want to do a little fact check here, Ryan. So I do apologize. So as a matter of fact, Severino filed for $5.25 million, and the Yankees counter with $4.4. So there you have it. I mean, he was going to make over $4 million either way.
Yeah. So you would think, I don't know, the second year. What do you think? He goes from 4 to 10? If he's around 4 or 5, he's probably going to 10. Then he's probably going 14, and then who knows the fourth year. I mean, if he's still pitching well.
I think 4 to 10 is still a big jump.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he gets still, 5 at the arbitration, I mean, a raise of $5 million is not a huge jump. I don't know, especially if he's pitching the way he pitched last year.
I would say like 5 to 8-ish, 5 to 9-ish if he's on that pace. But that's the thing. So I think like the second year jump isn't the biggest because he goes from a $4 million base salary in his contract to a 10. So he does get that jump in the second year. But then he stays at 10.25, then 11.
Right.
And those are where the big jumps can come into play. So like that's what I'm thinking of. Like the first 2 years of this deal is probably what his ARB is. But that's the thing. Then it flattens out.
Yeah.
Whereas in arbitration, he can go to like 12 million and then 16 million. It could be 20 million or something. And then he's out of the contract and he gets paid his free agent contract instead of that $15 million option.
That's what I mean. He had to have lost money on that. I mean, unless he blows his arm out tomorrow, but I mean, geez.
It just seems very, very safe.
Yeah, I'll say. But, it's definitely good for the teams. And I mean, you see all these, I mean, I get it. The free agency, players are ticked off because they're not making that money, but then you're seeing pitchers settle for these kind of team-friendly extensions. And now the Pirates have, they've signed Marte to a team-friendly extension. They signed Polanco to one. They've signed, Cervelli. They extended him to a small one. They extended Kutch the first time around. So, you've seen the Pirates do these deals. I mean, obviously these are huge for small market teams, and then you're seeing the Phillies and the Yankees even doing it, and these players are accepting them. So, I don't know, but getting back to...
And I feel this is even more like team-friendly than some of the Kutch
Oh,
ones.
yeah.
Which Kutch one still worked out, but it's like this at 4 for 40. I'm like,
And this isn't like Singleton. This isn't. Who was was it Singleton for the Astros that signed?
John Singleton.
He was like in the minors. Like this isn't that where it's like,
right.
Look, that turned out very well for him because where is he right now? He's
he never.
He's
saw
like out of.
He saw like 2.
Yeah, he's probably in like the Mexican League or something at this point. But
I feel he's still in the organization. Actually,
we'll look that up.
But
look it up. Anyway, but that turned out very well for him. But like. These guys, Nola, I mean, was a Cy Young candidate. Severino, Cy Young. So that's what I mean. Like, it's crazy to see them sign for basically $10 million a year. And one thing, we've seen from free agency, like, if you're a pitcher and you're top-of-the-line pitcher, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, even Patrick Corbin got paid pretty much in this offseason. Like, you're going to get paid, like, if you're a top-of-the-line pitcher still. Maybe not an 8-year deal at the age of 30, but to sign this extension... I don't know. I'd have just let the dice roll in arbitration, I think. But
I mean, it really is the ultimate of just betting on yourself, or knowing you have he's getting a guaranteed $40 million. He is essentially set for life. But you could easily say that he could probably maximize that to closer to 50, maybe even. 60 might be pushing it, but he definitely maximized it to be even greater if he didn't sign that deal.
So
again, I think that's the ultimate, like betting on yourself or just taking the guaranteed money. Like if this is Trevor Bauer, he's not taking this because Trevor Bauer wants to do a 1-year deal for the rest of his career. Which I mean, you could really maximize that money. I mean, think about the quarterback for the Vikings was the Redskins. God, what's his name?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirk
you
Cousins
like that?
kept signing the. Right, kept signing the Le'Veon Bell deals. right, yeah. He kept signing, 1-year deals, and I mean, he was making some money. It was a big risk, but I mean, of course, at the quarterback position, you don't really have as much of a risk as other positions, but he was making out on it, and Trevor Bauer could ultimately make out, and that's betting on himself. But Severino, I guess hey, I'm getting $40 million. I'm cool. I'm set. I'm good. I'm comfortable. If I blow up my arm this year and never pitch again, all I'm getting is this I'm going to get like $6 million to my name.
Update on John Singleton.
Yeah.
So he didn't play at all last year. Now he was suspended 100 games after his third drug test that he failed. And,
I forgot all
and that
about
was last January. And I don't know if he's still with them.
No. May 21st of 2018, he was
there
released.
There you go. So
while serving the 100-game suspension.
Maybe we should pick him up.
In the final year of his
contract.
contract.
Yeah, he was insane. So he's a free agent. Yeah, he last played at Double-A for the Astros in 2017. So, yeah. So that, but like you said, that deal that he signed turned out pretty well for him. I mean, he
got $10 million.
Probably set up for. I mean, I don't know if it's set up for life, but he's doing better than a lot of people are. That's for sure. He probably, if he plans it out well, doesn't have to do much from here on out. But anyway, getting back to Taillon. So, you see these deals. We're like, all right, we'll discuss this tonight. Now, whether the Pirates discuss this with Taillon now, or if they've already have, or if they do it, going into next season, which would be his first, arbitration year. I mean, where's the negative as far as from the Pirates standpoint? So I think it makes all the sense in the world, and it comes back to would Taillon accept it, which. I don't know if he would, but then you see Severino and Nola accepting these deals, and it's like, well, geez. I mean, everybody in baseball knows those two, and then Taillon's kind of like the lesser known. So it's like if they're signing it, I mean, who knows? Maybe Taillon would.
Right, and I think that's where like the Taillon situation is very interesting because, like you said, I mean, he's the next man up. If you look, regardless of these two being signed, I think Taillon just makes the most sense. Jay Bell. Wow. Josh Bell, I think is still a risk. You're still unsure what he is. I think we talked about this earlier in the offseason. Like, I would like to see another year out of him before I even consider it. See what Josh Bell really is. Adam Frazier, I don't know if you're really ready for that. Diaz, we talked, and, why do it? He's so advanced in his age.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah.
His first year of eligibility. So, it doesn't make sense. So it's like Taillon makes sense, but as you mentioned before, he is older, 27 years of age. He's also the union rep, which Alan Saunders pointed this out. He made some very valid points in that sense. He's spoken publicly about this free agency. And if he were to take what would be deemed and viewed as a very team-friendly deal, how does that look when you're the representative?
Right.
I look at that aspect, but more importantly, I actually look at the fact that he is 27 years old. Like, if he does this deal, we're talking about Severino, and Nola hitting 30 and 31, like, Taillon's going to be older. That contract that he signs might be the biggest contract that he signs for his career. And does he really want to do that, or does he want to just go ahead and bet on himself and then get that ability to go into free agency?
Yeah, I mean, look, and who knows what the CBA will be after, 2021. He's not a free agent until 2023, which I think he would be 21. Or no, I'm sorry, I wish he was 21. 31 at that point.
Yes, Benjamin.
Yeah. He's going backwards. So he'd be 31 at that point. So like you said, it's a little older, and I get it. Like, yeah, he's the CBA, he's the union rep, but at the same time, like, he's got to look out for himself too. So if he's staring a deal, in front of him where it's for $40 million or $50 million or whatever, he's going to kind of think about that. Plus an option, like the Severino and Nola deal both have options attached to them. So, maybe you would do a 4-year deal with an option, which would basically buy him out of 2 years of free agency. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's up to the individual at that point. It's what do they want? Do they want? That's why it almost makes sense for them, and even for the Nola situation, like for them to offer these deals like this year for Taillon, like with 1 year left, 1 year of pre-arb basically, because at that point you're saying, look, like you're not like Taillon wouldn't be making the $1 million until next year. So
it's going to make like $550 million.
Right. So, 550,000 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Jeez.
He's making that much.
Hey, we were right about the show. It's awful.
We're all over the place. But so like you dangle that carrot in front of them like a year early. Like, hey, look, you could basically you could have 10, 12 million, or maybe not 10, 12 million this year, but you'd have like 4 or 5 million this year, and then the contract would progressively go up. And you have that security and everything, and it's locked up. So it makes kind of more sense to offer it like this year than it does next year, because like Severino was on his way walking into that hearing where you have to think that he's got 4 or 5 million staring him in the face no matter what. Yeah. So I don't get it from Severino's point. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But
and so like the other side of the whole Taillon situation too is I think that plays in is the fact that we're saying how he's older. Well, the reason that he's older is because he's had a lot of injuries in the past. Now, granted, they've been weird. Obviously the Tommy John is one thing, but everything else has been kind of fluky. So. But regardless, if anyone understands that risk, I guess, like it would be Taillon. Yeah. So that's where I could see him maybe saying, like, an extension would interest me because, as mentioned, like Severino, it's safe. Like, I'm guaranteed $40 million. If something happens to me tomorrow, I got $40 million. Right. I'm taken care of. So, I don't know. I think there's a lot that's out there for Taillon to really consider. I don't think this is as easy as, I think people thought like the Polanco and, Marte deals getting done. I think this one, like you could see Taillon rejecting it. But we'll see.
And I think as far as, bottom line, I think the team definitely should offer it, whether it's this year, next year.
Now, have you seen his quote that he said that they have not approached him
at all?
Okay,
because I was wondering. I was like, that's what I said earlier. I was like, they might have discussed it with him. I don't know. But so he has said that?
Yeah, he's come out and said that they haven't.
So